Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. Could you convert my dollars into pounds? Change from one system to another or to a new plan or policy. We converted from 220 to 110 volt. Make someone agree, understand, or realize the truth or validity of something. Exchange a penalty for a less severe one. A person who has been converted to another religious or political belief. Cause to adopt a new or different faith. The missionaries converted the Indian population. Change in nature, purpose, or function. Undergo a chemical change. The substance converts to an acid. Change religious beliefs, or adopt a religious belief. She converted to Buddhism. Change the nature, purpose, or function of something. Convert lead into gold. Complete successfully. Score an extra point or points after touchdown by kicking the ball through the uprights or advancing the ball into the end zone. Smith converted and his team won. Score, a spare. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. Exchange positions without a change in value. These operators commute with each other. Exchange a penalty for a less severe one. Change the order or arrangement of. A regular journey of some distance to and from your place of work. There is standing room only on the high-speed commute. Travel back and forth regularly, as between one's place of work and home. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. The act of changing one thing for another thing. Adam was promised immortality in exchange for his disobedience. Give to, and receive from, one another. Put in the place of another. Switch seemingly equivalent items. Reciprocal transfer of equivalent sums of money, especially the currencies of different countries. Exchange a penalty for a less severe one. A workplace that serves as a telecommunications facility where lines from telephones can be connected together to permit communication. The act of putting one thing or person in the place of another. Sports. An unbroken sequence of several successive strokes. Change over, change around, as to a new order or sequence. A mutual expression of views, especially an unpleasant one. They had a bitter exchange. A workplace for buying and selling, open only to members. Chemical process in which one atom or ion or group changes places with another. Chess, gaining, or losing, a rook in return for a knight or bishop. Black lost the exchange. Chess, the capture by both players, usually on consecutive moves, of pieces of equal value. The endgame began after the exchange of queens. Hand over one and receive another, approximately equivalent. Exchange prisoners. The act of giving something in return for something received. Deductible losses on sales or exchanges of property are allowable. Change from one system to another or to a new plan or policy. Make a shift in or exchange of. Make someone agree, understand, or realize the truth or validity of something. He had finally convinced several customers of the advantages of his product. Make someone agree, understand, or realize the truth or validity of something. Put in the place of another. Switch seemingly equivalent items. The con artist replaced the original with a fake Rembrandt. Put something back where it belongs. Replace the book on the shelf after you have finished reading it. Take the place or move into the position of. Smith replaced Miller as CEO after Miller left. Substitute a person or thing for another that is broken or inefficient or lost or no longer working or yielding what is expected. He replaced the old razor blade. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make less severe or harsh or extreme. Please modify this letter to make it more polite. Insert words into texts, often falsifying it thereby. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. The advent of the automobile may have altered the growth pattern of the city. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Remove the ovaries of. Make an alteration to. This dress needs to be altered. Win approval or support for. Cause somebody to adopt a certain position, belief, or course of action. Twist somebody's arm. You can't persuade me to buy this ugly vase. A human being. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. The immaterial part of a person. The actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. A human being. Drive something violently into a location. He hit his fist on the table. Kill intentionally and with premeditation. Gain points in a game. He hit a home run. A conspicuous success. That song was his first hit and marked the beginning of his career. Hit with a missile from a weapon. Physics. A brief event in which two or more bodies come together. Make a strategic, offensive, assault against an enemy, opponent, or a target. Affect or afflict suddenly, usually adversely. We were hit by really bad weather. Reach a point in time, or a certain state or level. The thermometer hit 100 degrees. Encounter by chance. Cause to experience suddenly. An interesting idea hit her. The act of contacting one thing with another. Repeated hitting raised a large bruise. Produce by manipulating keys or strings of musical instruments. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. We hit Detroit by noon. Hit against. Come into sudden contact with. The car hit a tree. A connection made via the internet to another website. WordNet gets many hits from users worldwide. A dose of a narcotic drug. A murder carried out by an underworld syndicate. It has all the earmarks of a mafia hit. Baseball. A successful stroke in an athletic contest, especially in baseball. He came all the way around on Williams's hit. Cause to move by striking. Hit a ball. Deal a blow to, either with the hand or with an instrument. He hit her hard in the face. Hit the intended target or goal. Pay unsolicited and usually unwanted sexual attention to. He tries to hit on women in bars. Gain points in a game. Keep score, as in games. Determine the sum of. A bill for an amount due. A score in baseball made by a runner touching all 4 bases safely. Their first tally came in the 3rd inning. The act of counting, reciting numbers in ascending order. Be compatible, similar or consistent, coincide in their characteristics. Gain points in a game. Defeat thoroughly. Place in a rack. Supply a rack with feed for horses or other animals. A written form of a musical composition. Parts for different instruments appear on separate staves on large pages. He studied the score of the sonata. A resentment strong enough to justify retaliation. Settling a score. A slight surface cut, especially a notch that is made to keep a tally. Gain points in a game. The home team scored many times. Assign a grade or rankta, according to one's evaluation. Score the SAT essays. Grounds. He tried to blame the victim, but his success on that score was doubtful. Induce to have sex. Did you score last night? A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. What was your score on your homework? Make small marks into the surface of. Score the clay before firing it. A seduction culminating in sexual intercourse. Calling his seduction of the girl a score was a typical example of male slang. Make underscoring marks. An amount due, as at a restaurant or bar. Add it to my score and I'll settle later. A number that expresses the accomplishment of a team or an individual in a game or contest. The score was 7-0. A set of 20 members. A score were sent out but only one returned. Get a certain number or letter indicating quality or performance. She scored high on the SAT. The act of scoring in a game or sport. The winning score came with less than a minute left to play. The facts about an actual situation. He didn't know the score. Write a musical score for. Put into service. Make work or employ for a particular purpose or for its inherent or natural purpose. How do you utilize this tool? Convert, from an investment trust to a unit trust. Supply with capital, as of a business by using a combination of capital used by investors and debt capital provided by lenders. Draw advantages from. Consider expenditures as capital assets rather than expenses. Convert, a company's reserve funds, into capital. Write in capital letters. Compute the present value of a business or an income. Tennis. A score consisting of winning a game when your opponent was serving. He was up 2 breaks in the second set. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. The break seems to have been caused by a fall. Enter someone's virtual or real property in an unauthorized manner, usually with the intent to steal or commit a violent act. Be released or become known, of news. Fail to agree with. Be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. It was presented without commercial breaks. Lessen in force or effect. Break a fall. An escape from jail. The breakout was carefully planned. Interrupt a continued activity. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Break into tears. Any frame in which a bowler fails to make a strike or spare. The break in the 8th frame cost him the match. Go to pieces. Ruin completely. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Break a law. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Do a break dance. Kids were break dancing at the street corner. Prevent completion. Break off the negotiations. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Terminate. Break a lucky streak. Surpass in excellence. Break a record. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The act of breaking something. The breakage was unavoidable. Happen. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A pause from doing something, as work. We took a 10-minute break. Stop operating or functioning. Fracture a bone of. Reduce to bankruptcy. My daughter's fancy wedding is going to break me. Assign to a lower position. Reduce in rank. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Break a piece from a whole. Break a branch from a tree. Make submissive, obedient, or useful. The horse was tough to break. A time interval during which there is a temporary cessation of something. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out. This prison is high security. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. They hoped to avoid a break in relations. Some abrupt occurrence that interrupts an ongoing activity. There was a break in the action when a player was hurt. Destroy the completeness of a set of related items. The book dealer would not break the set. Cease an action temporarily. Let's break for lunch. An unexpected piece of good luck. He finally got his big break. An abrupt change in the tone or register of the voice, as at puberty or due to emotion. Then there was a break in her voice. A sudden dash. He made a break for the open door. Be broken in. If the new teacher won't break, we'll add some stress. Become punctured or penetrated. Cause the failure or ruin of. This play will either make or break the playwright. Cause to give up a habit. Change directions suddenly. Change suddenly from one tone quality or register to another. Come forth or begin from a state of latency. Come into being. Come to an end. Crack. Of the male voice in puberty. His voice is breaking, he should no longer sing in the choir. Curl over and fall apart in surf or foam, of waves. Destroy the integrity of, usually by force, cause to separate into pieces or fragments. Diminish or discontinue abruptly. Emerge from the surface of a body of water. Exchange for smaller units of money. I had to break a $100 bill just to buy the candy. Fall sharply. Find a flaw in. Break an alibi. Find the solution or key to. Break the code. Give up. Break cigarette smoking. Happen or take place. Things have been breaking pretty well for us in the past few months. Interrupt the flow of current in. Break a circuit. Invalidate by judicial action. Make a rupture in the ranks of the enemy or one's own by quitting or fleeing. Make the opening shot that scatters the balls. Pierce or penetrate. Render inoperable or ineffective. Scatter or part. Separate from a clinch, in boxing. The occurrence of breaking. The break in the dam threatened the valley. The opening shot that scatters the balls in billiards or pool. Undergo breaking. Vary or interrupt a uniformity or continuity. Weaken or destroy in spirit or body. Cleanse with a cleaning agent, such as soap and water. Convert illegally obtained funds into legal ones. Make right or correct. Rectify the calculation. Bring, lead, or force to abandon a wrong or evil course of life, conduct, and adopt a right one. Set straight or right. Rectify the inequities in salaries. Reduce to a fine, unmixed, or pure state, separate from extraneous matter or cleanse from impurities. Convert into direct current. Rectify alternating current. Math. Determine the length of. Rectify a curve. Supply with capital, as of a business by using a combination of capital used by investors and debt capital provided by lenders. Draw advantages from. Consider expenditures as capital assets rather than expenses. Convert, a company's reserve funds, into capital. Write in capital letters. Compute the present value of a business or an income. Cause transduction, of energy forms. Convert from a non-metric to the metric system. Compose in poetic meter. Express in the metric system. Convert from a non-metric to the metric system. Express in the metric system. Convert from a non-metric to the metric system.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.